Yo, so today I wanted to talk about the fact that nobody really knows anything. And I say anything and I don't say that other S word because I don't think I'm supposed to swear in the first 10 seconds on YouTube or something like that. I don't know. But what do I mean by that? So basically, nobody really knows what's going on. Even like a diet expert is gonna fuck up and it's just gonna get, oh, I just said fuck. Fuck. Okay, so even a diet expert is gonna fuck up, right? Even if they tell you, yo, this is what you should do, A, B, and C, they could still fuck up and actually realize that actually you should have done A, B, and D, if you know what I mean. So what made me make this video was what's going on right now. So there's this YouTuber. I'm into diet. I'm into the diet space. I like to, get information regarding that. Now, do I really watch it anymore? No, not really, because I kind of know what I'm supposed to do. But this YouTuber, okay, his name is Face IQ. You might you might know him, you might not. But I don't know. He kind of raised faces and shit. A little bit, you know, a little strange, a little. I think the guy is pretty cool, but this, rating other man's face is a little, a little like. Okay, I can tell when a guy is handsome too, but can I tell like a guy is handsome because his nose is a bit bigger than this other guy? Like, you know what I mean? It's like that gets kind of gay. That gets kind of gay. Okay. But he was a big proponent of the carnivore diet, and he was one of the biggest guys promoting it. Well, I guess you got others. You got Bart K. You got Sean Baker. You got a couple of guys promoting the carnivore diet, and he was specifically promoting raw carnivore with lower fat and zero carbs. Not low fat, but not as high as you might imagine, and very high protein. And he basically crashed, and he had courses about this shit. He had everything. He had a school community. He had courses. Motherfuckers were paying for that shit. It was a paid thing, Like he was a guru, Meanwhile, he was shitting on Paul Saladino and other people promoting carbs. And what happened? Well, two things happened. He moved to a more tropical place, okay? So he incorporated more carbs because it's only natural. You stay in a more, in a hotter environment with more sun, naturally you're gonna wanna eat more fruit, stuff like that. Now, am I saying to follow an equatorial? I think that's what you should say. My bad. Equatorial diet? No, I don't believe that. Because, let me see, hold on. I hit my mic. Okay, you know how I don't edit my videos, but I hit my mic and I want to see if I'm still recording or if this shit is all fucked. Because if this shit is all fucked, you know what I'm saying? Oh. Yo. Yeah. We're good. Okay. Quick little intermission. The way I make my videos is so weird, but it works. Okay, it works. So I'm gonna keep doing it like that for now. But am I promoting an equatorial diet? No, not really. I think everybody should eat carbs, to be honest. Well, some people really, really don't tolerate them and work better on carnivore, but that's a minority, okay? But I do think that, if you're really in like a colder, less sunny climate, you should probably not eat as much carbs as someone, that's in the tropics. I think that makes sense. But you should always like be, above the threshold of being keto. Like always, running on carbs, always having at least like 60, 70 grams, even 100, you know. But, for the people that are living in a more, like I said, in a less suitable climate, maybe they should keep at around 100, Anyways, so he moved, I don't know, I think he went to Bali, I think. So he started eating a lot of fruit, and he found out that, it's a lot better. And he also got problems with the carnivore itself. So, yeah, those things combined. Now, you could argue, oh, he moved to a more tropical place, so naturally, but you can't really argue the fact that his carnivore diet went like shit, because, the carnivore guys would say that, well, no, anywhere you are, you can be carnivore. It's not like if the diet is optimal in a cold environment, it's optimal in a hot environment. And yeah, that would kind of make sense because, the hot makes you just more optimal in general, the sun, all that. No, you cannot argue that his carnivore diet was getting bad because he moved to a tropical place. But yeah, so long story short, he basically changed his whole view. In the 360, he was calling people idiots for eating carbs, sugar heads, sugar addicts, drug addicts, fruit addicts, and did the whole 360, and now he's promoting like, I don't know, 400 grams, I think, 350, something like that, for everybody, which, I don't, that's the amount that people should be eating, yeah, in the tropics, but, in Norway, probably not, okay? So yeah, 350 grams is a lot, okay? So don't think I'm just restricting carbs. I'm not, like I said. But like, like 350 grams is a lot, okay? It's a bunch of fucking carbs, 350. Especially if you're only getting that from fruit and not really, eating that much starch. Yeah, you only eat a lot of fruit, okay? So he changed his whole diet. And a lot of people were like worshipping this guy, being like, yo, he's the fucking saint of diets. He's the saint of nutrition. He's the best. He knows everything. He's the goat. And guess what? What happened? The whole 360 turned away. Okay, that just goes to show you, And it's, you know why? Because he is actually good. Okay, here's the thing. The people who are actually smart about things tend to get the worst results than the people who, I'm not going to say the people who don't know shit, because no, probably not, but the people who know a little bit, okay? So what I'm trying to say is basically, say someone like this guy, okay, Face IQ, say someone like him, he he changes his diet. He finds out, oh, Ray Pitt, he Agenus, oh, Jack Cruz, oh, banana or orange, oh, carbs or no carbs, you know, supplements or no supplement, and he keeps on changing shit, right? And when you change it, no matter what, you're gonna feel bad, or for the most part, right? Like, there are vegans who start eating meat and they feel like shit, okay? Which just doesn't make sense, okay? Unless you got that very, very rare syndrome where you can tolerate meat. But yeah, I'm not talking about exceptions, okay? Like I said, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm gonna stereotype the shit out of motherfuckers because that's the only way we can really talk as humans. But you, so you take this guy that, you know, changes up everything every time, and you take someone, a regular guy from like Spain or Italy, who eats like a Mediterranean diet. You know, he gets some tapas, maybe like some, you know, sometimes he eats bread, but he eats seafood, he eats beef, he eats sweet potatoes, he eats shit like that. Okay, random, just pretty good diet overall. You know, like yeah, is the bread that good? No, probably not. Is the olive oil good? I mean, see, cooking with it, I wouldn't. Actually, eating it, I wouldn't either. You know, butter is just much healthier, in my opinion. But yeah, so he's not 100% optimal. But guess what? This guy is gonna live a lot better than this motherfucker who tries to 100% everything. And I'm not gonna lie, I am like that too. I try to 100% everything. I try to, you know, if I'm gonna do something, I might as well be the best at it and know all the ins and outs of it and shit like that, you know? I can just, oh, I know a little bit about this topic. Now, for me, it's like, oh, either I know everything or I don't know shit, okay? There is no in between. And obviously, you know, I don't know everything. I'm just stereotyping. I'm just saying I'm really fucking good, you know? Okay? So, this guy that doesn't know everything is gonna live better because he's not gonna have problems every like week because he kept changing his diet. And he, even though he's like, it could be like, okay, so this guy is like, I don't know, 80% optimal, say. And this guy is trying to be 100% optimal. But guess what? For the most part, the guy that's trying to be 100% optimal for the most part is going to be like very unoptimal because he's going to like shit because he keeps changing shit around, okay? So the guy that's trying to just, you know, the guy that's doing this shit knows a little bit and can just focus on other things, you know, has yeah, he might not work at 100%, but consistency is more important, right? So even if he works at 80%, at least he works. That other guy is like, well, this day I'm not gonna work at all. I'm just gonna spend my diet, spend my day changing my diet, spend my day trying to figure out what's wrong with my diet and shit like that. I'm not gonna work at all, but it's worth it. It's worth it because I'll be, you know, my brain will be 100% optimal for work and for life. And bro, okay, there are people that are richer than you, famous. Okay, I'm not saying these are, you know, they are necessarily better than you if they do that, but I'm just putting things how they are. So there are people that are richer than you, famous, attractive, more attractive than you, charismatic, fucking all the fucking good attributes you could think of. Very fucking successful people that eat cereal and pancakes and milk, you know, cereal and pasteurized milk. Talking about pasteurized milk, hold on, I just remember I got some I got some raw buffalo milk in my cup. Let me take a little sip. Okay, that was a big sip, but it is good as fuck. You know, in both for both cases, tastes way better than pasteurized milk, and it's got all the fucking nutrients and shit like that. But there is a guy eating like complete garbage that's got all the fucking greatest attributes. Like, okay, the only thing you should worry about maybe is like getting fat, okay? But even that, even getting fat, I don't know if you've watched it, but these guys who eat a bunch of food, like competitive eaters, eat garbage. Eat like garbage, okay? You got one guy on YouTube. I think his name is like Beard Meets Food or something like that, and he eats like absolute dog shit. Okay, and I'm getting a feeling I haven't pressed record. Hold on. This is the second time this video I'm checking my recording, but I got some trust issues with this shit today. I don't know why. I usually just... Oh no, I'm recording. I've been recording for 18 minutes, okay. Maybe we can make this video shorter, hopefully. No motherfuckers looking at the fucking actual video length and be like, nah bro, this is not shorter. Because I also want to turn the story and talk about other things too. Yeah, so I'll try to speed it up. So there's this guy, Beard Meets Food, and he's like dog shit. He ate like a fucking 10-pound cheesecake, and he's shredded, and now he got a big ass beard, so you can't really see his facial structure and his skin. But from what you can see, it's okay, because in reality, it's all about calories in, calories out. If you're worried about gaining weight, so that's maybe the only problem. But like I said, we're kind of jerking ourselves off with these diet debates and which is the best diet and which. Meanwhile, you got a guy mugging you who eats just cereal and gets to work. And like I said, if you just look at a little bit, you understand just a little bit, you're going to understand most of it. I don't operate it like that personally, but let me tell you right now what you should do, okay? 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, okay? You can get that protein from ideally beef or fish, and then just try to incorporate some raw milk. If not, that's okay, but have some dairy in there, some cheese, maybe ideally A2, so that means not cow, basically. Even though there exists some cows that are A2, but yeah, if you get like sheep cheese or goat cheese, those are fine. So for every dairy product, really, you should try to get A2, okay? And ideally raw. And for carbs, just potatoes, sweet potatoes, and then fruits, okay? Boom. I just solved diet, okay? This is genuinely like better than 90% of people, and then obvious stuff, don't eat sugars, and also something that maybe not be as obvious, but like try to cook everything in butter or olive oil at the very worst. But that's it. That's diet. Boom. Diet solved. If you just do that, okay, basically 80 to 90% of it. Okay? Then you can look at ratios, but yeah, for the most part, okay, That's kind of what you need to do. So, and you could argue not even this. Like I said, you can have a pretty good fucking life eating garbage. Okay, it's really. Yeah, I think the most important parts for health are like stress, your mindset, irrational mind, maybe sun too. Okay, but diet is not that important. Okay, so yeah, we like to do that, but in reality, we're not changing much. We're like, oh no, because this will help me out my whole life because I will think better than most people. No, you will maybe think 5% better. But is that worth, going through horror for a month? It's up to you. Some would say yes, some would say no, because you might be frustrated. And guess what? You might even be wrong, because in reality, nobody really knows anything about that. Like, it's kind of a gray area for everybody. Humans are not that. We don't have the technology advanced enough to actually understand human diet completely. So you might actually be worse off than you thought. Okay, and you just spent a month going through, because when you change it around, you I'm not trying to get graphic here, but like, you get diarrhea, you get all that shit. Okay, literally, you get all that shit. Let me take the last sip of the milk. So that's in the case of diet of these health guys. They don't really know either, because for the most part they do experiments on themselves, which, like I said, comes with a cost. Comes with a big cost. And I would argue not really worth it. It's more like, okay, I respect it because it's for the love of the game. But for the most part, these experiments are not worth it. As long as, like I said, 90%, you don't really need to know 100%. But it's hard to not want to know 100%, if that makes sense. So all these experiments come with costs. Okay, so that's for diet. But we also have that in just about every field. Let's take fitness, for example. If you have been lifting for a while, you probably tried a bunch of different exercises, right? And you've either stick to them, or you keep changing them around. Now, this is a problem for beginners especially, but advanced lifters do this too. Okay, we tend to always think, no, that bicep exercise is better than this bicep exercise and whatnot. And also the coaches keep on changing their stuff. They always like, today let me try working out fasted, and tomorrow let me try doing cardio first. Tomorrow, the next day, let me do supersets. Let me do pre-exhaust. Let me do body weight exercises. Let me do calisthenics. Let me do Smith machine. All these changes. Meanwhile, the guy that's like been flat benching for 10 years, or best example, look at dudes who do calisthenics. They just do push-ups, pull-ups, and other, things like that. Front levers, but mainly it's push-ups and push-ups, push-ups and pull-ups and dips, okay? And maybe squats, if they feel like it, like maybe one pistol squats, one legged squats. I translated it for the people who don't know, but yeah. So they basically do that, and they're damn near more jacked than just about every gym goer who tries every single machine and switches out their things. And like, is their routine 100% optimal? No, probably not. Probably, like, especially because they do a lot of reps. Some people will be like, no, that's horrible. but they're still more jacked than you, okay? So how does that make sense? They don't clothe their mind with bullshit. They just, okay, I gotta do push-ups today. I'm just gonna do, how many push-ups did I just did yesterday? 100, okay? Let me try to do 101, okay? That's literally what they do, how they think. Or, I did 100 push-ups in 3 minutes. Okay, let me try to do 100 push-ups in 2 minutes 45 seconds or 2 minutes 55 seconds, you know? Like, they're more progress oriented rather than optimal based oriented. Like, they took a thing and they just stick with it. And that's different from the diet guys, because, well, you can't really progress your diet. I mean, yeah, you can't really. So you just stick to it and just stick to it. It's simple as that. But with lifting, it's just you stick with a program and the exercises, and you work on progression. You know, because when you keep changing exercises, you get stuck. Okay, you can't progress because you keep changing them, and you think that in order to progress, you have to change them. But no, that's actually what's making you plateau. Just stick with the same lifts, okay? Till you break through the fucking plateaus. Maybe change them only if you're like... so I like this Alex Hormozzi quote. If you started something, this is like the formula for quitting something. If you started something, and since you've started, nothing has changed, like you still believe this can work, you didn't gain new information that this can't work, then you stick with it. But if now you're like, I started this and I realized that this is actually unoptimal. Not just Athlete X told me this exercise is better, but I realize, I genuinely see that, what I'm doing here is bullshit, okay? Okay, then you can change it. But other than that, stick with it. And you can apply that to basically just about anything. You know, like, am I feeling good on my diet? Yeah. Then why the fuck should I try to get a supplement with creatine? Okay? Why? You know, that could just give you negative things. Like, don't try to improve something that's not broken, basically. And that's how it is with fitness too. People try to tinker their program, always finding the best exercise. In reality, they get surpassed by the guy that's just sticking with the same exercises, okay? Only change them if you're like have overuse injuries and shit like that, okay? But don't change them just because you're not progressing. That doesn't make any sense. That's how you progress, okay? Because whenever you change something, whether it's diet, fitness, business, you get a period where you're kind of you pay a fee for starting a new thing, basically, with your diet. Whenever you add something new, you usually get worse skin. Not necessarily because the food is bad, just because you're not used to it. Or you get diarrhea, okay? Or you got constipation, or things like that. Not really nice. Or you generally just feel bad, like you got brain fog, you can't sleep, you know? Shit like that. Bloating, I don't know. Till your body gets used to it, okay? With the gym, whenever you start a new exercise, you pay a fee because for the first couple of weeks, you're gonna progress fast on that exercise, but that's not muscle adaptation, that's just you learning the skill of the exercise. You know, if you've never squatted in your life, you're gonna double your squat in a week. Is your strength actually doubled? So has your muscles doubled in size? No. Not at all. You probably didn't gain shit, okay? It's just that it's a new exercise and you're learning it. For the first couple of weeks, you're basically kind of taking a deload week because you're really not doing anything, okay? So if it takes you like 5 weeks, bro, after 5 weeks, I've barely learned the exercise. And there's people switching out exercises every 8 weeks. Like, what the fuck? As soon as you get to a plateau, you switch it out. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, okay? I'm doing the same exercises for years, okay? And it's way more satisfying to get that +1 rep after you've been doing the same exercise for 5 years. Like, you know, not every exercise I've been doing for 5 years, but she like lateral raises, for example. I just do normal ass lateral raises, okay? I've been doing that shit when I started, I'm doing that shit now, okay? And I basically never get a +1 rep or add weight to it, but whenever I do, that shit feels damn good because it's like, okay, that's pure muscle because I'm 100% of this skill, okay, of lateral raises. I cannot cheat it for my skill, quote unquote. Same thing with business. Whenever you start a new business and you say bye-bye to your old one, well, for the most part, in the first couple of weeks, you're just gonna set shit up or you're not really gonna make any money. You're learning model, okay? You're trying to learn, you're watching a bunch of YouTube videos, okay? You're trying to see how it works really, before you see how hard it actually is and then you give up and you start the cycle again, okay? That's what happens with business too. So where I'm going is that you try to optimize, okay? Everything leads to worse outcomes in a paradoxical way. It is like the second time I use this word. I don't know if I'm using it right, but I think I am, okay? You believe that you're actually doing something right. No. Trading meme coins is stupid. I need to start an agency. In reality, you can make money with both, but trying both, you can't make money with either, okay? And that's why I'm saying that experts have it even worse. They don't really know anything because they keep on changing things. Because in a way, okay, I'll use this, I think, again, in a paradoxical way, they need to know how to be bad in order to be good. The experts, like the diet guys, like but still, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't necessarily listen to them. Like, what the fuck? What happens if you, like, imagine you just listen to Face IQ and he said you should be a carnivore, okay? And now he's saying you should eat fruits and you're changing your view again. And then he's going to say something else and you're going to change your view again because he's the expert. But in reality, if you just look at the basic facts of nutrition, like what's the basic fact? Okay, most people agree that carbs are good, okay? Most people agree that vegetables are bad, okay? I know that might sound crazy for some of you to say, but generally look at the nutrition of vegetables and see they have just anti-nutrients and that's basically it, okay? It's not hard to make the argument against them, okay? Another, most people say that fish is good, okay? Most people say that meat is good, okay? Most people that say eggs are good if they're not dumbasses, okay? Honey, okay? What do most people say? Okay, seed oils are bad, okay? Bread is bad. Sugar is bad. Sugar from like, I'm not saying fruits, but sugar from, And yeah, it's not gonna be the 100% most optimal, but it's gonna be damn good, and you can just go on with your life, okay? Way better than following all the diets this guru provides you with, okay? Because these guys want to keep scratching the itch. That's why they keep making videos about the best bicep exercises. Shit, if I go on After X right now, he probably has a new bicep exercise. Bro, he been making the same video for 10 years, okay? But he just wants to scratch the itch, okay? Maybe he's doing it on purpose or subconsciously, but he's fucking up the people that are actually trying to get jacked, okay? Because they're not gonna find what they need from his videos, because his videos constantly change. It's constantly a new exercise. And then people are gonna try every single one of them because his newest video has to be the best, right? He's the most up-to-date right now, right? So he's the best right now, okay? And then a week from now, he's gonna be even better, and I might change again. Okay, so I think I say so a lot, but yeah, I try not to repeat myself, but I obviously repeat myself quite a lot. I think that's just the nature of it when you don't have a script. But yeah, basically, gurus don't really know either, because the problem with being a guru is that you keep wanting to scratch the itch of becoming the best. And by scratching the itch of becoming the best, you become not the worst, but for sure not the best, okay? The best just do the basic shit, the not brain dead shit, and they just do it a bunch of fucking times, okay? The difference is that these guys research a bunch, and the best find a way, and they're like, okay, I agree, this might not be the best way, but this is my way, and I'm gonna try to make it as best I can. Like, you think Usain Bolt, could probably like move his knees in some sort of way, and it would be more optimal. Some would say he would run faster. Think he cares about that? Okay, he doesn't give a fuck. Imagine he would just listen to all these anatomy guys that would tell him that. Okay, he might know that that's the most optimal way to run, but he's the best at it for a reason. He just practiced and practiced, and didn't let the distractions of the itch, didn't let them kill him. Okay, that's how you become the best. Just you ignore, or you take everything with a grain of salt. I still watch, diet content sometimes, but I don't apply what they say for the most part. Mainly because I already know. But if for something reason somebody would say, oh, this one food that I'm eating is bad, I'm not gonna listen to them. Or I'm gonna look at what they say, I'm gonna listen to them, and then I'm gonna decide, is that really how they feel? But for the most part, nah. For the most part, it's not that deep, okay? Like I said, diet is not that fucking important, contrary to what most people say. But yeah, like I said, I think I said what needed to be said. So hopefully you understand and got something from this. So yeah, nobody really knows shit in this world. And kind of have to figure everything out yourself. And don't try to scratch the itch of becoming perfect, okay? The beauty is not in being perfect, The beauty is in being good, and just keep doing that good thing, okay? Anyways, I'm rambling, and I'm going in circles, I think, because I think I said what needed to be said.